What are your thoughts on this, Blake?
Well, the reason I love this section, especially verse 15, where he quotes from Exodus, is because this is think about it. The Exodus passage is about the Israelites learning to trust God daily. When you go out and collect your manna on every day of the week, except for one day, the Sabbath, I'm going to give you extra on Friday night so you can have your Sabbath rest and have enough for that day so you don't have to collect. But every other day of the week, you only collect enough for that day. God was teaching the people of Israel to trust him daily for daily provision, right? Those that gathered more didn't have anything left. Those that gathered just what they needed had no lack. Paul is tying that idea of learning to be God dependent daily into being a charitable giver. He's saying, as you learn to give and you live in this act of grace, just being radically generous, you will learn to trust God daily and you will see God provide for you every day of your life. And what greater freedom is there than that? It's better than having an investment portfolio. It's better than having wealth to no end, because guess what? You can always lose that stuff. But when you have God's promise that as you learn to live radically generous, you will see his provision every day of your life, you know he will never fail. And so you don't have to worry about a thing ever. You can live in total peace knowing that God's provision will be there for you. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And this is where great people of God who lived radically generously, but still managed to do incredible work for God. I mean, George Mueller was the most radically generous man I've ever heard about. And yet he also simultaneously was feeding hundreds and thousands of orphans at the same time. He was giving more than half of what came to him and still feeding 2,000 mouths at once. Think about that. It's because of passages like this, where he figured out, man, what God is telling me is if I can be radically generous and live in this grace, I'll see his hand daily for the rest of my life. And that's what Paul's encouraging and stirring up the Corinthians. He's saying, go and be like that. Be like these people that learned to trust God daily, and like your Macedonian brothers and sisters who are living in this grace-inspired generosity.